Good morning from the Wetterhorn Basin. Today you're going to be hiking up Matterhorn Peak, traversing over to Wetterhorn and taking the standard route down. For a full trail guide of the Wetterhorn to Matterhorn Traverse, you can check the link in the description below. To catch you up to speed, you can check out my other video on Wetterhorn and Uncompahgre. I'll link that in the description below, but essentially I've just been hiking up the standard route to Wetterhorn from Matterhorn Creek. I guess I'll talk about the road really quickly. It's really deteriorated over the years. The last time I came here, I was actually able to get my Legacy up to the upper trailhead, so the four-wheel drive trailhead essentially. But this time, really, once you turn onto North Henson Road, to be honest with you, the road is just as rough for the most part as the last 0.7 miles, which used to be the traditional four-wheel drive access. The last 0.7 is a little trickier, but those 2 miles are not great. My car scraped a couple times, and even the bottom road, there's a couple of pretty big puddles and potholes. So really the road access here has gone south over the years. I'll have more information about all this in the full description below, but I just wanted to mention it in the video because it has changed significantly. Today, going to be traversing from Matterhorn Peak, which is a bicentennial, it's like 13.5 something, over to Wetterhorn, which is obviously a 14er. There's not a lot of beta on this, so I'm going to do my best to show you guys everything I do along the way. But before starting, since we have some good views of the traverse behind me here, I'm going to give you a quick rundown of what I think is going to happen. So essentially there are 4 main towers on this route. Really, the first 2 you're not able to stay on the ridge, so you have to traverse. I'm going to be traversing on the hiker's left or south side, and that will be the theme of most of this ridge, is staying proper or on the south side. In order to get to these 2 towers, you have to descend a gully. After those 2 towers, you can stay on the ridge proper for most of the time, from what I understand. And then there's 2 more main obstacles, which many consider the crux of the route, and by many I mean the 2 trail reports I was able to read. Essentially, you can go left and be super exposed and have loose rock, or from what I understand, you can go right north and have a bit more stability. Obviously, I'll show you everything along the way. For the sake of keeping this video as informative as possible, I'm going to really not spend that much time on Matterhorn. It's really basically a grassy climb to some class 3 at the top. I'll obviously show you the class 3 stuff, but I really want to focus on the traverse for this video. Alrighty, getting closer to the top of Matterhorn here. Great views of Uncompahgre behind me, and looking up, which is pretty featureless, but I'm about 13.2 right now. While I'm here, let's talk about gear for this hike. You're definitely gonna need hiking poles, definitely gonna need a helmet. GPS would be really helpful, especially if you can understand a topographical map so that you can navigate around the towers and things like that. And then, yeah, what to pack for a 14er, I'll link that in the description below as well. Looking up to Matterhorn, this is the class 3 section right here, and you can see the descent initially off of Matterhorn down to the ridge to Wetterhorn. So my game plan is going to be to descend to this point and see if I can go through like there. I have a feeling that that looks a lot worse than it is, and although I could drop all the way down and then cut over, I don't think that's going to be very fun. As you get to the top of Matterhorn, you can stay left here to have more higher class 3 and more exposure, or you can kind of stay right and just go up to the right, which will be more class 2. Summit of Wetterhorn Peak. First one of the day here, class 3 Really wasn't too bad, pretty minor. And I actually think I'm gonna go down a different way to start the traverse. This seems like a high point. All right, looking around here, just beautiful, a little smoky like I said, but nothing crazy. And then of course, the next goal, which is the traverse here, over to Wetterhorn. All right, so from the summit of Wetterhorn here, you could go down to here, take this all the way down and around the second tower, because from what I understand, this tower is unclimbable and this tower is unclimbable. So yes, you could do that, but instead, what I'm gonna do is basically work back over here, drop all that, and then go right around to basically this point right here. Framing you here, there's a cairn right there, and there's this kind of slabby wall, and that's where I'm going to start my descent and work right over to the ridge crest. Although a lot of this ridge and traverse remain a mystery to me, I can tell you that it's about a mile long, and it ranges anywhere from class 3+, I'll just say. My foot on top of the rock that I just sent, it is huge. So this is an immediate reminder that this is very loose and to test everything super carefully. Looking back up to Matterhorn summit area, summit block. I'm not sure if I'm gonna try to see if that goes over the other side. Obviously I know this side doesn't. This rock and dirt is so nasty. I thought this would be the safer bet, but honestly it's turning out to be really, really nasty. To be honest with you, I'm trying to just mitigate risk today. And if that doesn't go, I have to climb and down climb that loose rock twice. Whereas if I just go down, I'll know at least I can get around something the first time. From what I understand, this is the quality of the rock. So far this traverse is getting a big F. Hopefully that changes, but it's gonna be a very slow going day. Just the whole ground moves, nothing is solid. I changed my mind, decided to go the way I told you guys I wasn't, and boy am I glad I did. That's looking down, which right here is the same thing I would have been dealing with on the other side, but you can see the ridge and it gets more solid, which is great. Looking back to where I just came down, I think I should be on the ridge for a little bit now at least. Man, I'm very happy to be off that because that was so sketchy. I know there's gonna be more like that, so I'm not out of the woods by any means, but geez. You can see now I have a couple towers here, another one here, but essentially you're just working your way down to that red spot I showed you earlier in the day. So happy I made the decision to keep going straight instead of down that gully, because that would have been really bad to do that. So honestly, from the top, I know I keep telling you one thing and the other, but from the top you really probably could have just down climbed and then taken the gully to that tower. Man, just sent another massive boulder. Sketch. Really, this middle part here has been a lot of just kind of stay into the ridge proper. Man, I can't emphasize this enough, how careful you need to be with every single placement of your foot, of your hand, and just move quickly once you've established something solid. All right, on that red dirt I showed you earlier today, this is probably your last bailout point. If you needed to, you could make a nasty descent down some of these slopes here. I wouldn't recommend it. Looking ahead, you got a nasty shale tower, and there's two of them, and I'm going to go around and around both of them. This is the tower where you're gonna want to go around. The one behind me, you definitely could have climbed, but traversing it is fine as well. Yeah. So this is that second tower. That's the exposure. Absolutely no way down for me. I'm just not sure how I'm gonna get across this thing. Maybe up there somewhere. Well, I'm in a conundrum. You can see that way, you can see this way. I don't know if this cliffs out or not. I'm not gonna down climb to there to figure that out. So my options are not great. I think right now, I guess I could go all the way around, but I don't know. That just looks like a lot of down climbing and garbage rock. I guess I could try this north side here, but there's some towers here too that look sketchy, so I don't really know. What I've decided to do is go to the left side down towards these features and go across. It's probably not the right way, but I think it's the path that will be the least dangerous for me at this point. Matterhorn there. He got cliffed out kind of up here and just came down this. It is garbage. Looking back up to everything that I tried to avoid, there's a second tower over this way. I'm just gonna kind of stay straight, see if I can rejoin the ridge like right there. I'm very close to bailing on this, but I'm gonna round this corner up here, see how it looks, see if I can get back to the ridge. Oh man, looks like more shale and dinner plates, but I think I can do it. I'm gonna try to regain the ridge here, up this little chimney, see how it goes. That's what you like to see right there. All right, back on the ridge. Full look back to Wetterhorn, Matterhorn, God, every time. So, different perspective on the two crappy towers there. And basically, I went all the way down there and then took one of these ribs back up right there. I'll describe these towers as falling apart, and it's pretty obvious when you see them in person. I went left, I dropped maybe a couple hundred feet and skirted around them to regain the ridge here. From what I've read from someone else, you can go right. I can't attest to that. Going left was so sketchy, but I think I'm back on the ridge crest now, getting very much closer to Wetterhorn there. Really hope this doesn't cliff out. I think I am getting closer to the crux of the route here. I believe it's this tower right here, and I'm not sure what to do with it yet. Sample of the exposure here. Looking back to those two awful towers. Lots of little towers like this one behind me where you get the gullies next to them, and for the most part you can stay on top of them. Of course, I decided to traverse this one, and I'm gonna have to go back up. All right, a closer look at the remainder of the traverse here. So you got your two towers. I'm not sure how to deal with either one of them yet. And then you got the dirt slopes. Those are the three challenges ahead. And then you're gonna take the standard route up to the summit of Wetterhorn. I think the most challenging part about this so far is the rock goes from I trust it to I'm gonna die. And it doesn't give you any warning as to when it's gonna do that. So it's just like, you feel very, very sketched out a lot. I mean, dude, this rock is loose. Look how big it is. All right, I think I'm gonna go right here. Looks like I can get across and then face that second tower. Nice exposure here. Around the first tower and making my way over to the second one. Looking back to that section, and that's the tower I just went right around. I know there is an exposed route that way from a previous trip report. I'm gonna see if I can go around up there. Here's a look at the right side of the tower here. Not exactly instilling confidence. I think this is the way I'm gonna go here. Left, at least get to the corner and see how it looks after that. Okay, definitely go around this way. Not bad at all so far. Man, just more sketch. Exposure's not bad, but it's just dirt. And yeah, I'm ready to be off this traverse now. That's looking back to the side I didn't take, and looking forward to the right side up here as well. Again, I think I'm going to go left. Just the snow does not bode well. Oh man, skinny. I ended up going right. I was looking down to the left. I'm sure that would have went. That would have been a little sketchy there, but yeah. Looking forward to the final stretch here. Oh, sweet. I couldn't really see this whole ramp, and now I can, and know that it goes, thank God. Final tower here, I think I'm gonna climb it. It worked out for me back there, so hopefully it works out again. I'm gonna get cliffed out here. Shit. Yet another dead end. I don't know where I'm gonna go now. This might be a tricky one. Oh, I'm an idiot. This is the easiest way down, right through this little notch here. I think I'm through the last of the cruxes. I don't wanna get mentally checked out yet by any means, because I still have a class 4 hike down, but I just wanted to apologize for speaking so much on this one. I know a lot of my videos now are action and showing you the way, but to be honest with you, I've just been trying to be as safe as possible, and holding up a GoPro on this, just, I'm sorry, I don't feel comfortable doing it. So there's a lot of helmet cam and a lot of me talking. So that's the notch I climbed through on the second tower, and that's the little knife edge there from the first. But again, you can climb and descend both of them directly. Wetterhorn Peak right there. I'm just gonna take this ridge up, and I think I'm out of the woods for the most part. A little dip out here. I should be able to stretch across, but almost there. Final obstacle here. I am not sure if you can climb it, but I hope you can because everything has been climbable so far. I'm just gonna climb. I do not want to down climb anymore. I kind of climbed the left side of it. First few moves straight on were like heavy class 5, and I just didn't have that in me right now. Pro tip, watch out for these assholes if you don't have gloves on. They suck. Working my way up this last pitch here and just trying to stay to the rock as much as I can and not pull super hard on anything. The traverse was like, the Matterhorn side was very garbage rock. The middle kind of, as we got closer to Wetterhorn, got a bit better, and then this is like right back to Matterhorn. But at least there's so far a lot of rocks to stick to. But again, I wouldn't pull super hard on them just because based on the other side and based on how things are moving here, you don't want something that big coming down on you. Six hours and 4,100 feet of elevation gain later, I am done with the Matterhorn to Wetterhorn traverse. Just hiking up here to the standard route of Wetterhorn and the summit right there. I gotta be honest with you, there was a huge moment in that where I was gonna bail. I never felt incredibly unsafe. I felt like sketched out the whole time, and knowing that a rock could end my life pretty easily, man, it feels so good to be standing here right now. Oh my God. Key with this ramp, stay to the right. Hope there's no snow on it. Looking down. To complete your super long day, you got one final class 4 pitch, which is really solid rock, and you can just beeline it right up there to the summit. I have completed the traverse and now stand on the top of Wetterhorn Peak. Oh my God. Oh my God. Looking back at it. Oh man, I'm so happy. I was so anxious about this one because of the lack of beta, because of the poor trail conditions. Damn, it just feels so good to get this one under the belt. So I'm gonna try to keep this concise. Quick notes about this. It's about 6.5 from Matterhorn to the traverse to here, and then another 3.5-ish down, depending on where you park, maybe more. 4,100 feet of elevation gain, and that shouldn't be much more on the way down, maybe a couple hundred feet. Obviously not dog friendly. I don't even know why I bother saying that. But the views up here are just awesome. These mountains down here are so rugged and gnarly looking, and I'm just so proud of myself that I was able to solo do that traverse. Huge weight off my shoulders to be sitting on this summit right now. To wrap up the ridge here, These two towers are the only ones that I traversed. The rest of them you can climb up or slightly to the left. Oh man, all right, that's gonna wrap up my trail guide of the Matterhorn to Wetterhorn traverse. Of course, from here, you're gonna just take the standard route down, which I already have a video on. I'll link that again in the description below. To watch more 14er videos, you can check out my playlist in the description below. I have all of Jerry Roach's great traverses and plenty more other traverses if you want to do something similar to this. Final thoughts about this. Honestly, I wouldn't recommend doing this route. I think it's incredibly dangerous, and Jackie's going to love hearing that. Not because of the exposure, but because of the terrain. I think the rock is incredibly loose for the majority of it, and it's like broken ankle, broken leg, or worse city. For a full trail guide and more information on this traverse, you can check the link in the description below. If you're new to my channel, I do virtual trail guides of the 14ers, which this is my 92nd summit, I believe, at Colorado hiking and beyond. Go ahead and hit that like button if you found this video helpful, and please subscribe not to miss any future hike related content. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you on the next adventure.